Right. I'll leave these. Good morning, everybody. So, as you just saw that stuff, I got all of this. I'll show you in a second. I got all this for 40 bucks. Super Nintendo, GameCube, PS2, DS Lite. The Super Nintendo is missing the cables because those are NES. I mean, you can use the RF, but everything else was for NES. PS2 has got that network adapter, so good chance it has a hard drive. Yeah, there you go. Super clean Super Nintendo. Yeah, 40 bucks, not a bad deal. So, on to the next. Digging through this box, I found this and this. So, I'm getting those for sure. But now I'm thinking there's Sega Saturn games in here. I haven't found any games today, so I don't mind sticking around for Sega Saturn games. Right there, Sega Saturn game. Nothing super amazing, but they're here. Super Nintendo adapter. Two of them. Three of them. Okay, so yeah, I'll get back when I find the rest of the stuff. Alright guys, so I'm done for Wednesday. I'm kind of bummed out right now. I probably just saw one of the best scores ever, and it didn't go to a collector. It went to a really shitty reseller. Like, really shitty. Like, dick status reseller. So, I'm kind of bummed out. I mean, there was boxed everything. Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire 2, Sega Saturn games. Just, that's where that stuff was. It was in that box. It was right. 5 feet away from it. I didn't even see it. I mean, but he knows that guy. Whenever that guy sees something, he calls him over. So I went over there, tried to talk to him. He's like, "Give me 2,000." Like, there's no way. There's no way it's worth 2,000. Maybe. It probably was, but I don't have that kind of money. So, but I did get some stuff. I got 2 Virtual Boys right here for 2 bucks. A couple games and stuff. Not a lot of stuff, but I got some good stuff. But yeah. Yeah, everything else you guys see will be from Sunday, so see you guys then. So I guess I'm pretty crazy because it's all raining and there's nobody here. Usually by this time there would be a bunch of people set up, but there's nothing here, so I couldn't not come. I mean, I found good stuff in the rain before, you never know. So I might go to the other swap meet, see what's up, but yeah, there's nothing here. People don't even want to set up. It's kind of sprinkling, so yeah, if I go to the other swap meet, you'll see footage from there. So see you guys then, and if not, then I'll just show you what I found on Wednesday. Alright guys, all done at the swap meet. Pretty much the same story at this one. It's raining, pretty good over here, and nobody's really wanting to set up. So I did ask one of the regular guys that has games every now and then, and he had 2 games. I got these 2 for 20 bucks. Not a bad deal. Mario 3 and Killer Instinct. So 20 bucks for the only find for today. I'm looking at maybe a couple Craigslist deals that I might do today, depending if they hit me back up. But I mean, if not, that's pretty much going to be it. So I'll just have what I found on Wednesday. So yeah, I'll get home, get everything together, and show you guys what I got. Alright guys, so this is right after the swap meet, and I just got those 2 games today, but I did end up doing the Craigslist deal. I paid 60 bucks for those. The bottom 4 I paid 10 each, and the top 4 I paid 5 each. So pretty good. Dark Legend is, you know, probably the most valuable one in there. Definitely good. This guy had a whole bunch of Sega Saturn games at one point. He bought everything when it was like going out, like when Saturn was like no more. And he had Panzer Dragoon Saga and all these things, and he sold them, you know, a couple years ago. I think he said he sold Saga for $350 on online. So I wish he still had some of those now, but still pretty good stuff. I'll get home and I'll get all this stuff together and all this stuff and show you guys what I got. See you guys in a bit. What's up, everybody? So all done with the swap meet stuff, and it was pretty good. Wednesday was kind of heartbreaking. I'll get into that in a little bit. But Sunday was pouring down rain and there was nothing going on. I did find 2 games. But then later in the day, I hit a Craigslist deal and got some Sega Saturn stuff. So I'll show you guys that last. So let's jump into Wednesday. So my guy, he had just some okay stuff. First, Super Nintendo. Came with cables, controller, a PS2, mainly because, you know, I just give them to my buddy pretty much. So if I can get them cheap, then they're gonna go to him. This was in the PS2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. A GameCube that I desperately need to clean up, but it does work. And then a pink DS Lite, missing the battery cover, and I'm not 100% certain if the battery works, because it won't turn on when you charge it. I think it's probably just the battery. In my experience, it's always been that. So all of that for 40 bucks. He didn't have any games that time, but still, you know, good stuff. Let's see. Next, this was 2 bucks. I didn't have this box variation, so picked it up. Just the box, the inserts, and the paperwork. So pretty cool. This is the one that comes with the Wii Sports and Sports Resort. So 2 bucks. Always like box variants. Okay. Now this is where the heartbreaking part comes in. This guy, I don't know. It's hit or miss. He has games sometimes and sometimes he doesn't. But his prices are dirt cheap. So I'm digging through a box and I pull out this stuff first. This is the first thing I found, a Sega Saturn Netlink. Right then I got excited because somewhere in these boxes was Sega Saturn stuff. Next, I found Final Fantasy VII. Then, what else did I find? I found 2 Genesis games, Toy Story and Tom and Jerry. And then a Sega Saturn loose disc, NFL Quarterback Club 97. And then power cables, 3 power cables, Super Nintendo. And so I walk over and I paid 10 bucks for that stuff, right? So I'm digging through, continue to dig, you know, because I just put that stuff in a bag and I threw it in my backpack. Continuing to dig, and then I noticed this reseller up on the trailer with him. And they're both looking in this big box that the guy just pulled out. Mind you, nobody else had a chance to look into this box. It didn't even come off the trailer. The reseller guy was already up there, like, digging through the boxes. I mean, I don't know if the seller had a problem with it or what, but they opened up this box and it was like huge, a big box, like, I don't know, tall, pretty big, full, top to bottom, with video games. When I walked over there, I knew it was something like that because that guy finds video games. When I walked over there, the first thing I saw was complete in box Majora's Mask. So after he buys it, I walk over and I, just start talking to him. And this guy doesn't like me. He never has, because he hates the fact that I'm competition there for him. I'm going through and I'm looking at the stuff he's pulling out, and I see boxed Chrono Trigger, boxed Breath of Fire 2, just boxed, Final Fantasy. I think there was even Secret of Mana boxed in there. Everything was pretty much boxed. And then there were Sega Saturn games in there. I mean, expensive Sega Saturn games. This guy got the whole box for $100. Now, I just, I knew he got it for cheap. So I was like, how much do you want for all of it? And I didn't even ask for like all the games that were in there. He pulled out like just a bunch of the boxed games and put them in a little Tupperware. And I said, how much do you want for that box? And he said, $2,000 for all of it. And I was like, okay, hold on here. So I called my buddy over, because that's just way too rich for me. And I figured if somebody's going to get it, I might as well be my buddy. And he goes and they evaluate it, and they come out. He said roughly it's probably worth $1,500, maybe, give or take. And he offered him $1,000, and the guy said no. You spend $100 and you can make $900 profit in less than an hour, and you're going to say no? See, that's the problem with this guy. This guy is super greedy. Super greedy. And I don't know, he just doesn't sell his... It's weird. He's weird. I don't know what it is, but he's definitely not the person you want to see all those nice games go to. It sucked, it was what it was, but... So, back on topic, I walked back over there all kind of depressed a little bit, but I'm still hunting. So he pulls out another big box the same size, and I'm crossing my fingers thinking, sweet, man, I hope there's more games in here. And right on the top, right when I opened the box, these two bad boys right here. I tested both of them, and they both work. Surprisingly, they both work. They're missing pretty much everything, but they both work. And then this one Virtual Boy game, Tellero Boxer. So I got the Virtual Boys for $2, $1 each. So that was pretty sweet. That took a little bit of the sting off. I kind of wish I didn't see all those games, because that would have bulked up my collection pretty big. I know that guy doesn't collect, he doesn't even care about the games. That's the only thing that sucks about hunting, when you see somebody who's just a scumbag, basically. Scumbag reseller. I don't know anybody that likes him. And he just gets all the games, and they just go nowhere. But yeah, it's what it is. It happens. In game hunting, you see that stuff all the time. It's heartbreaking, so... what can you do, So, I got those Virtual Boys, and I was pretty stoked on that, because you don't ever find Virtual Boy stuff. So right across from there was another guy who sometimes has games. I asked him if he had anything. At first he said no, but then he comes back over to me like a couple minutes later and said he had a Game Boy Color. So I got this nice, clean condition Kiwi Game Boy Color with the back for $10. So pretty good deal. 10 or 15, I think. I'm not sure. I think when he first started, he wanted 25 though. And then last for Wednesday, walking out, this guy usually gets games from him on Tuesday, but he had some games Wednesday, and I don't ever really see him at that swap meet. So for $5, I got Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak on the Game Boy Advance. And then Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja 3 on the Wii. And Chaos Legion on the PS2. So, pretty sweet. Okay, so now we'll jump into Sunday. Like I said, Sunday it was raining. Pouring down rain. It sucked. I still went out, though. You never know. You never know what you're going to find. If the rain lets up, people set up. So, I went to the swap meet and found nothing. I went to the other swap meet, and I asked one guy who usually has games, and this is all he had. I paid $20, so not a bad deal. Super Mario 3 and Killer Instinct. And that was it that I found at the swap meet on Sunday. But later, I hit up a guy who had Sega Saturn games. He sent me a list, but he didn't send me a full list. He just sent me like, he only left one game out, but I was surprised when I got there. So I paid $60 for 8 games. So these second 4, I'll show you the best 4 last. I had paid the 40 for the first 4, and then I paid 20 more for these ones, so $5 each on these ones. But I mean, it's still good because I didn't have any of these. So we got Last Gladiators Digital Pinball, Sega Sports World Series Baseball, Slam & Jam 96 Signature Edition, and Off-World Interceptor Extreme. And then these other ones, these are the ones that I knew he had that I went to get. We've got Road Rash, Battle Monsters. He sent NBA Jam, and I knew I was gonna get it if it was the tournament edition, and sure enough, it was. So NBA Jam Tournament Edition. And then this one wasn't on the list that he sent me, but this one almost pays for what I spent. So pretty cool. The case, the lid or whatever is broken on the hinges, but not a big deal. Dark Legend. So pretty sweet. And we got to talking, and he said that he used to work at GameStop, like way back when this stuff was there. And he said for all his systems, he used to buy them when they were going out, when the new stuff was coming in. So he was telling me how he got Panzer Dragoon Saga for $19.99. I was like, oh man, that would have been sweet. Like if only we could go back in time. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that, you know, but that would have been cool. But $60, not a bad deal. So that's everything. Not a horrible day, not a horrible week for swap meets, but still some good stuff. The virtual boys, you know, pretty good, and it's not every day you find Sega Saturn stuff. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.